All right, I want to go to Jake Tapper and the rest of the press pool yesterday at the White House as they started to ask questions of Jay Carney. Even the press is turning on Jay Carney and saying, wait a minute, none of this makes sense.
Yes, John.
Jay, this investigation had been going on for months. How is it that the White House didn't have any idea of this until the day after the election and the Congress a few days later?
Well, I would refer you to the FBI. They have, as I understand it, protocols in place for when they notify the legislative and executive branches of investigations. And it is simply a fact that the White House was not aware of the situation regarding General Petraeus until Wednesday, and the situation regarding General Allen until Friday. So, the FBI is the place to go in terms of an explanation of the protocols they follow. But I understand that is the answer that they will give, that there are protocols they follow that govern how they inform the various branches of government of these kinds of investigations.
Well, do you understand how people would think this is utterly bizarre? I mean, the day after the election and the anger you're hearing on Capitol Hill, they didn't know this was going on. The timing, at least the appearance.
Look, all I can tell you is when the White House was informed, and I would let the relevant members of Congress explain to you how and when they were informed. My understanding is there are protocols that the FBI follows with regards to these kinds of notifications, and I would refer you to the FBI and the Department of Justice for an explanation of those protocols.
It doesn't matter how ridiculous, how fairy tale like it sounds to them. They don't care. They just stick to the line. We didn't know. And
you know what I'd like to watch again? I'd like to watch All the President's Men again. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Washington Post, they were under tremendous heat to just go along with it, weren't they? They didn't want to. There was these two reporters who were like, "Look, I have a source," and if I'm not mistaken, the Washington Post editors were like, no, "Wait a minute." And they started doing this, and it was we're kind of in the same. This is Watergate all over again. Now, where are the Woodward and Bernsteins of the day? See, here's the amazing thing: these reporters, when they go in for journalism school, which don't do it, don't go in for journalism school, don't. When they go in for journalism school. They're taught Walter Lippmann, and they're taught everything, and they're also taught about Watergate. That was the turning point. What they're taught is now that they have to get the bad guys in government. They have to go get them because they can change the world, just like Woodward and Bernstein did with Watergate. I wish that were true. I wish they actually believe that. That's what they do on the side of the Republicans. But they are also indoctrinated with the progressive agenda, so much so that their job is to change the world. So get the conservatives, watchdog against them, but then further the progressive agenda. And so they don't do it. There's so much here. There's so much, this administration there. I mean, geez, Solyndra and everything else. This guy would absolutely be impeached if it was a Republican. He wouldn't have won the election, and he'd be impeached. And I think if it was Nixon, because this is following the same pattern, it's the cover-up. It's the cover-up. And you can't tell me that we didn't know. We did. And if these reporters, did any of them ask yesterday, or any of them asking, how could the president not know? Don't you think that's a problem? I mean, again, using logic, don't you think, does the president not think that this is a problem? That he wasn't aware of Benghazi when everybody around him had that information, but he wasn't told?
Again, Glenn, I refer you to the FBI protocols on this matter. I think that's all they'd say. They just refer you back to the FBI. That's what they do when they get in trouble. They refer you to somebody else. All I can tell you is it's a fact we didn't know until last Wednesday, despite how unbelievable that is to virtually anyone with a brain. Nobody believes that unless you're an Obama zombie.
So here's what you have to do is you have to stop giving them power. I'm so convinced that we saw how this game plays out. We saw how this works. And you're not going to win playing their game. You have to spit yourself out of the system. And so we see how this works. You're not going to win this way. So what can be done? Well, I strongly suggest you spit yourself out of the system. And I don't care if it's the Daily Kos or Breitbart or the Blaze. But you stop getting your news from traditional media. Stop. It is the definition of insanity. Now, there's a few of us that are trying. Daily Caller does a lot of investigative reports. They went out and they got a big infusion of cash. And so a lot of these places are just hemorrhaging money. I don't know about Daily Caller, but they spend a lot of money. And they are trying to do and fill the space that nobody else will fill. Well, you should read the Daily Caller. You should see that. You should read Breitbart. You should see what they're doing. Judge for yourself. You should read the Blaze. See what we're doing. And you should support them. If there's a way to support the Daily Caller and Breitbart and us, do it. Do it. If you happen to be on the other side and you believe in the Daily Kos or whatever, Huffington Post, do it. The Huffington Post is AOL Time Warner. I mean, they have become the new media. They're the ones that, even conservative friends of mine read the Huffington Post. Yeah, I hope you know what you're getting when you get that. You're getting more of the traditional media and the traditional spin. But, if that's what you want, that's what you get. But stop. We have to reinvent the entire system. And it starts really with you just saying, enough, I'm not buying into that. But not unplugging. See, here's what I'm afraid of, and I think this has happened to many of our American friends, and that is they've just stopped paying attention.